Exactly. Okay, friends, I've been jabbering on. We've got weaving to talk about. So let's see new space. I'm all twirly. Here, I'm gonna bring you in first so you can see what I'm doing. So this short little towel project, check it out. Now you may kind of recognize the pattern, friends, as a herringbone. Woohoo! If you saw this week's Handwoven Experience episode, it was all about twill weaving ideas. And pardon me, here's what I think is so fun is that, you know, twill is this like huge umbrella of weaving patterns. And I think especially when you're first starting out, you're like, okay, I got plain weave next, I got twill next, and you go on to something else. But oh, friends, you could weave twill pattern variations for, you know, years and years and years and never exhaust them. I promise you. So as I was making the video and getting ready, I was like, you know, I haven't done herringbone in a minute. Herringbone was our pattern for one of our April weave alongs. Ooh, a couple years ago. 3 years ago, maybe? Ooh, that's a minute. That was a minute ago. But this really sweet kind of pastels, which, you know, I don't love pastels, but this one actually looked pretty nice. It was a little runner that we did in herringbone. Now, if you are not familiar with herringbone basically has it creates kind of columns in your fabric that you have like a diagonal going this way and a diagonal going this way. And then maybe the next one goes this way. And like all the columns are, they have little diagonals going different directions. It's all helter-skelter, willy-nilly. So what I want to play with for this specific set of towels is how can I change the size of those columns? Can I tweak that as I go? So here, I'll bring you in one more time so you can kind of see, I'll share what's in my little scary little creative brain. So I wanted to have, I don't know if you can see, you can't see these very well. So we'll look at a section like this, but see how these are all facing this way. And then these are all facing this way. So they're all kind of angled differently, but I also wanted to play with the scale of the colors. And I'll be honest, sometimes this is just out of necessity because I had the most of this color. It is not more glamorous than that. But I really love these two together. I think these are really interesting. And then I wanted something kind of lighter to set it off. So this is my first kind of this little set right here. This little, it's like, you know, small, medium, large. It's kind of a Goldilocks thing. There we go. We'll call it the Goldilocks herringbone pattern. So this is the first one. This is our second kind of set here. And this is the big kind of chunky one over here. Now, here's the other thing that I'm playing with is that I am doing kind of a variation on 2-2 twill and then a 1-3 and a 3-1 twill as these colors are kind of changing here. So let me tell you what that looks like. We'll do a little show and tell here. Okay. See, I can't tell if I'm too tall. Isn't that funny? See, new space. Got all kinds of crap happening over there. See, it's I'm all turned around here. Okay, all right. So here is what I decided to do. For herringbone, it doesn't have to be a 2-2 twill. When you have certain patterns like a pinwheel or a houndstooth are both 2-2 twills. This could be any kind of twill you like. It doesn't matter. The kind of magic, the secret sauce in herringbone is that it works with a broken twill threading, which there's a whole episode on that you can look up in the Handwoven Experience library. But a broken twill threading gives you those like separate columns. And basically what you do is just kind of skip, you skip a shaft as you're threading things. Anyways, I digress. Let me show you how to treadle this, or how I am treadling this. So first of all, I am starting off where the yarn is jumping over 3 and under 1. That's what my weft yarn is doing. So that means I'm just lifting one shaft at a time. So here we go. And because it's a twill, I'm just going to kind of walk it. So shaft 1 and then shaft 2. And here's shaft 3. You get the idea, right? Pretty simple. But with this variation, then you see like all of the weft, all of this kind of pretty dark foresty green color on the top, because that you have really long floats, right? And I go around it twice. Oop. Second time around. 1, 2. You're with me, right? 3. It's like Sesame Street. We're counting. 4. Okay. So I do 8 picks of that variation, basically. Now, the next 8 picks are going to be 2 at a time. So here's my 2-2 twill, technically. So now I've got 1 and 2. So that means half of them are up and half of them are down. So if the whole thing was 2-2 twill, you'd have this. It looked the same on the top and the bottom of the fabric. That's kind of the. It's equal on top and the bottom. So then we've got 1 and 2. 2 and 3, 3 and 4. And as you look at the fabric, then you see, as you can imagine, a little bit less of this guy because the floats are just a touch smaller. This is 1 and 4. And then I go back around one more time. It's this nice kind of cyclical treddling, which I like because I tend to like a treddling that keeps my interest in some way or another, but I also don't have to ever like look at a cheat sheet to check where I am. Do you know what I mean? Like it can't be too complicated. I have found that the second that I have to have like a piece of paper to keep track of my treddling, I don't like it. It does limit me a little bit. Now I've got a pretty good memory for treddling, so it's not always a problem. But okay, so we did 8 picks of that variation, and now we're going to lift 3 shafts at a time, which means we're only going to see one tiny little dot of the weft. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. This one's the trickiest one to keep track of. And here's how I like to do it. I like to there's like a base shaft. So this is shaft number 1, which is going to be 1, 2, 3. You're getting so many insights into my crazy little brain here. Okay, next, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Next, 3 and 4 and 1. Ooh, here's the craziness right here. Just trying to keep track of where I am. And then 4 and 1 and 2. I know, it kind of makes your head hurt. That's okay. So that's 4 picks. Now I go around again. See that kind of circular kind of, that's how I like to think about it. If it doesn't work for you and you're like, Chris, my brains are oozing out of my ears, don't you worry. Find your own variation. And you can make it a lot simpler than this. Doesn't even matter. All right. 3 and 4 and 1. See? All right. And last, 4 and 1 and 2. So here, let me bring you in so you can see what we just did together. Okay, so let's see. We started here. We started right here. And then this was when we only lifted 1 shaft at a time. So you see how big those floats are, how much that you can see. And then this is our 2-2. So it's kind of half and half. And then this is where you can only see a little bit. This is like a little 1-3 right there. So it's over 1 and under 3. So if you looked on the back side, you'd see a lot of that weft. But on this side, it's just a little touch. So now what I'll do is I'll actually, from here, I'll go back to a 2-2, see how these kind of ebb and flow. That's kind of the idea. They'll kind of ebb and flow through the project. Now, I put on enough to do, I think, at least 2 towels. It's supposed to be a small project. I will be honest, friends, I was stuck as to what to do next. And I'm absolutely going to do the tartan at some point, but it's not the right timing for the tartan yet. Not yet. So I was like, okay, what is going to spark my interest? And I went through a lot of possibilities before I was like, okay, I feel like playing with some herringbone. So tell me this. What do you do when you get stuck? When you're like, I don't know what to do next. Hopefully you have taken my advice. You have done as I say and not as I do, and you have a running notebook of ideas. And I did for a very long time, and then I just got out of the habit, which is it's not good. Don't, it's not. You should have a notebook of ideas. That would be fantastic. Okay, so let's see. Oh, yes, Carrie. One of the reasons I like table looms is I can play with the tie up. Yeah, there's no climbing under a loom. That's very true. And there are some patterns I find that are just easier because you don't have to worry about tying things up. You can just play with things on the fly, just like that. Mm-hmm. Yes. Did Alex Madison pop in? Hello, Alex Madison. Yes, Christy Lofton. Broken twill is so much fun to play with. You can really create some drama, can't you? Is that a good way to put it? A little broken twill. Yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. See, Liz had it. Thank you, Liz. Herringbone was the pattern for April in 2023. Oh my gosh, you guys. That's that's almost 3 years ago. That is crazy. That is crazy.